This video is all about the manatees. Welcome to Crystal River. We spent an afternoon at the Crystal River National Wildlife Refuge.
Well, good morning, guys and gals. I am moving the vagabond over to another cove closer to town here, and I'm going to kayak in and go to the Wawa and get some coffee and yeah, first time I've really been moving it. I just been staying at anchor there and Pirate and Princess's spot, but they showed me up here a couple places I can go to shore, so let's go get some coffee. I think this is one of the springs up here, so I'm going to come in here and drop anchor. Hopefully I'm not breaking any rules. We'll see how it goes. Okay guys, so I dropped anchor here in a cove. It's either a cove or maybe one of the springs is right up there. We'll kayak up there later after coffee and check. A little park over here. And I'm in about 4.5 feet of water. Are you wanting to go somewhere? You think you're going to town? Alright guys, so on the dinghy dock here, gonna throw away garbage. Day in the life. So walking to the Wawa, or maybe Dunkin' Donuts, get a donut. I try to just have one if I'm gonna do it, so they're so darn good sometimes it takes two. I don't know why, but you know, everywhere I go and hang out for a while, I always kind of find my favorite places, you know. This Wawa, for some reason, I like it. It's kind of centrally located, and they don't mind people kind of lingering on their desks, and they got good coffee and decent donuts and stuff. But I'm gonna go over to the Dunkin' Donuts and treat myself to a couple of really good ones. Oh, the Dunkin' Donuts. You don't know what you're missing, little dog. Oh, jeez. I promise you don't want any of this. Sorry for all the guys who don't like watching me eat on camera. It's a donut.
Most people know very little about manatees. They just think that they are big and full of blubber. Despite their blubbery size and shape, manatees don't have much blubber to keep warm. The female manatee has 2 teats, one under each flipper.
Hey guys, so here at the Wawa, and this pulled in. They're actually from Minnesota, a town called Big Lake, not too far from where I live when I'm in Minnesota. They actually built this out themselves. I just talked to him for a minute, and he said I could walk around the bus and show it off. Looks like they got some kids in there. Got fixing something on his tow vehicle, but yeah, what a neat, that's the real deal right there. What a beauty. All right, guys. So we're over there, you know, doing what all the other tourists are doing. And this woman runs up, excuse me, excuse me. And she tells this other couple, stay on the trail, stay. There's no sign saying you can't get off there, just stay on the trail. And she comes up to me, and there's only service dogs allowed. And I was like, you really like your job, don't you? She's like, I'm like, well, okay, thanks, Karen. I'll slowly and safely make my way out. This is why I do things the non-tourist way. Alright, so the beagle got me kicked out again. Looks like the way to see this Three Sisters Springs in the Manatee is to do it by kayak. So we'll try it from the boat, and I'll launch the kayak. I saw some, it was mostly folks that were renting kayaks and on little tours there, but I don't see any reason why someone with their own kayak can't get up there pretty close. So I'll try it with Wavey. Maybe they'll kick me out with her on the water. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Every time I come to these places, I always, you know, imagine what it must have been like before all this kind of modernity and people and modern life. And could you imagine being some of the Native Americans in this area who discovered those beautiful turquoise emerald springs and the sea cows swimming in them? And it must have been amazing. It must have just been an amazing life. Or maybe I'm just idealizing, I don't know, but Karen says I can't see it with a beagle, so we'll try it a different way.
The scientific name for manatees is Sirenia, derived from the Greek sirens. The dangerous sea nymphs who lured sailors with songs, drawing them and their vessels into the rocky shores, has been linked in folklore to mermaids.
So Wavey and I are out this morning walking around, getting a little exercise, and I want to show you a few sites just around Crystal River. As far as I have found so far, it doesn't really have like a downtown area with all the shops and stuff. This street right here would be the closest to it. I'm going to turn the phone around and I'll show you. So you guys can see it's got, you know, some little souvenir shops and little specialty shops and stuff. You know, neat little buildings, shopping areas. One back there. I usually don't go into these shops. I like looking at them from the outside. I might walk through one, but I don't really buy anything, and so I feel kind of weird when I go in and just not buy anything because I know they probably want me to. So I just kind of walk by and appreciate them from the sidewalk. Look out there, Wavey. So I've been looking for a place to take baths, like freshwater baths. I bet, you know, Crystal River is easy, like where I park the boat, because I can just kind of hang off the back of the boat and get clean. But it's, you know, you can't see the bottom where I park, and you know, I've seen a lot of stuff swimming underneath me, like manatees and stuff. Not that they'll hurt you, but I'm walking around here today, and I came across, you know, all these little kind of ditches that go through town, these surge ditches, I think is what they call them. You know, they're spring fed at the end of the day, and it's so blue and, well, it's very clear and clean. Let me turn the phone around. I'm going to show you what I mean. Where are you going to get this kind of stuff anywhere else, guys? So, other than a few cans and bottles on the bottom, that's all sand and just spring fed clear water. and I'm kind of behind. I'm back in a trail. The fire department's right there, but you know, they don't know I'm back here. And if they did, it wouldn't matter. So I think I'm going to take myself a quick little bath. Good girl. Good girl. Doesn't that feel good? Oh, doesn't that feel good? Let's go over here. Even a little hand towel like this, guys, like in a bag, backpack or something, you can dry off if you come across a spot to take a bath. That's usually what I do. Well, that felt good, guys. Now I'm nice and cooled off and I'm clean. So let's keep looking around. This looks like an old railroad museum, or the makings of one. Kind of get the feeling like they're still working on it, pulling it together, but yeah, I don't know what that means. Citrus, Sertoma, Han Van Orden Memorial Train Cars. Let's go peek in the windows and see what it looks like inside the building. Come on, let's go. Can you see inside there, guys? Maybe look in these windows. Restrooms. Let's see, what's in here? Looks like an old train station. Wonder if that's the original counter right there where you would get tickets. Oh, look, it might be open. It has an open sign on it. Okay, well, not sure what services you offer. I guess I won't walk in. This is also a private office. I don't even know what are you guys? Okay, well, I don't need your services, so I'll continue on. So, yeah, you know, boating adventures in general are not like 24/7 excitement and blasting down the road or blasting down or floating down some river or whatever, right? It's if it's a lifestyle, which I try to make it be at least part-time, then there's just a lot of days like this where you're kind of just looking around and seeing, well, this is what I do. I should probably put it like that. I like old architecture, and you know, I like to walk down neighborhoods and see how people are living. And you know, some people have really neat homes. You know, I really like the ones that are not that you can tell people didn't have a lot of money, or they had this aesthetic about them where they make do with what they've got. You know, or people that are really creative with their architectural style or building style, or taking an old house and refurbishing it into something really neat and quirky. That's the kind of stuff I gravitate towards. If I come across something like that on today's little walks, I'll try to highlight it. But okay, enough yapping. Let's keep looking around.
Oh hi, my name is Wavy Gravy, star of the channel. You can see that Brenton got himself a treat at Wawa, but I didn't get one, so send some money, thanks, bye!
So Wavy and I walked down here to where I'm keeping my scooter. It's like a good 3 miles, I'd say. Just kind of getting exercise today, you know. And we're going to go down to Homosassa, do a little bit of grocery shopping, hang out for a little bit, and then go from there. So just keeping you on the steps here. So stay tuned. No, sit, sit. So another glamorous day with Backroads Brenton. You see this is motorcycle parking. His business is not open. And I went to Publix, eating chicken tenders. Okay, guys, so obviously it's nighttime here, and I left my, I think I've been filming all day here, and I left my kayak at the dinghy dock, which is right down the street here from me. Usually I leave my scooter at the Pirate and the Princess's house on the other side of Kings Bay here, but I didn't want to walk the 3 miles because Wavy and I have already walked like probably 6 miles today. So I'm just taking a chance here. I'm going to turn the phone around here. I'll show you. So after being here for like, over a week, I'm kind of got a feel of what things are like around here. And I'm just right up the, I'm in an area where there's like, little B&Bs and Airbnbs and stuff. I'm actually in front of something called the Crystal Manatee. There's free parking here. And I decided just to leave the scooter here right up the street from where I left my kayak. And I locked the steering on it. And I'm even going to leave my helmet because I don't think I can carry it on the kayak. So, and I guess sometimes you just got to test the world, test the fate, and see if everything's going to be okay. So let's head down to the kayak. It's gonna be a dark one. And my paddle are still here. That's nice to see. All right, Beagle, you up to this? We're about halfway there, guys. I think that anchor light right up ahead of us there in the middle of the screen is mine, I think. And there we are. We made it home, Wavy. We made it back to the boat.
So, stay tuned.